Thank you for having me. So my accountant met with me last year and he said, why on earth should I let you buy 3 devices in 1 year? So I have Agnes, Scarlet, and Aquaform, and I said, it's because I'm investing in my family. I'm a dermatologist. I'm in private practice. I practice an hour south of New Orleans. This is in my 18th year. And I'm just going to kind of be your practical. The good news, you don't have to think during my lecture. You don't have to write down a bunch of things. I'm kind of your practical girl. So be prepared for the unexpected. Obviously, I launched it at not a very good timing, save for a rainy day, literally with Hurricane Ida destroying my town last year. The unusual circumstances with the economy and the pandemic. I had to reevaluate all of my insurance policies. I mean, I really felt like the building policy, the contents, I thought business interruption insurance was really the sucker bet at the casino until I actually had to cash in on it, and I really got to benefit from having that money. I didn't know when any of my equipment warranties expired, so it's just a good time to just reevaluate all of the equipment because we know this is expensive and it costs money, but if it gets damaged or you can't use it, that costs you even more money. So reevaluate all those things. But I still decide to launch it in the middle of this pandemic. I did a lunch and learn seminar, which was fantastic. I think this is the best way to introduce things to your practice, where you set out between maybe 12 and 2 o'clock, have 2 different 1-hour seminars. You can actually have live demos. You put it on sale. You do raffles, kind of like we're doing here. People like that. They like to see it in action. My most success, though, has been with my yearly open house, and I started this about 5 years ago, and I worked with different timing of the year. The best time for me has been the first Friday in December, which always falls the week after Black Friday. Because what happened is 1 year I had it like December 15th, December 17th, and all my patients are like, Dr. Sarah, this is great, but we already spent all our Christmas money. I was like, yeah, I need that. So I found that was the better timing was right after Christmas. And this is what my invitation would look like. We put this on social media, so Facebook, Instagram. We texted it to you. We emailed it to you. I said the entire practice is 20% off. I'm on sale. And last year, we actually did $500,000 in 1 day. And I thought that was just incredible coming off of everything. So this has been my biggest money maker. And then people prepay for all of these treatments, and we sell Scarlet as a package of 3, Aquaform as a package of 3. Agnes I don't really sell as a package because I don't really know exactly how many I think they're going to need until I see them. But then it kept my girls busy for the whole half of the following year because all of these services had already been purchased. And they're just now starting to run out of them, and they're even asking, when's the open house? I'm like, you know it. It's the first Friday in December, first Thursday in December. This is what my invitation looked like when I did it through AMP. I was very pleased with the service that came on site. So if you're somebody who doesn't like public speaking or you don't want to do, a webinar type thing, they will even do it for you, make the invitation. So it's not a lot of work on your part. So things to consider: can you afford the equipment? Again, once the warranty. The consumable is huge for me because if something costs a lot for me to do it, that's going to cut into my profit. Can my patients afford the treatment? Does the company take care of the doctor after the sale? I mean, this is a perfect example of a company taking care of us after the sale. We want you to know the best practices. We want you to be successful because it is about the patient. And then how long will it take it to see my return on investment? So these are my numbers on Scarlet. So I'm jealous of Missy's number, but in my defense, my Scarlet was in my dining room for about 4 months when we were displaced. So I tease this is enough to put my oldest child through LSU Dental School. She's currently there. Dental school is very expensive. So why did I even want to do the radiofrequency technology? It's because I do treat a lot of darker skin types. I have a lot of French, a lot of Spanish, I have Mexican, Indian. And so I worried about some of the heat technologies causing that post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So the one thing about radiofrequency is it tends to be a little bit more colorblind when it comes to that. My patients are getting a lot of sun exposure. None of them, they're not as good at using the physical sunscreens. It sounds like it's a little bit better than Amsterdam or the Netherlands. They wear some sunscreen, but maybe not compliant all the time. And so I've liked that about the radiofrequency technology. We're getting great results with minimal downtime. They can be done year-round, so I'm not having to wait in my sunny neck of the woods for like true laser season, which typically would run from Halloween to Mardi Gras. So now we can do these type of treatments year-round. And I do think that Scarlet is one of the best technologies that I've seen for what people always complain about. I want a wrinkle, a texture, and a pore to go away. And sometimes that's even hard to see on a before and after picture, but you can really see it clinically in person. So I had actually done some demos on some of the other radiofrequency microneedling devices that Dr. Chillicurry had mentioned earlier. Pain was the limiting factor when I did a lot of those demos, so I wanted something that I could delegate to my PA and my nurse practitioner. I didn't want to be doing nerve blocks and running from room to room, getting people numb, so I wanted something that was going to be very easy to delegate to them. I also wanted it to be a very easy learning curve, so that again, as he mentioned, if I had turnover of staff or if I needed somebody else to learn the procedure, it would be easy to learn. And the consumable tip that I mentioned before, it's a very affordable price. I mean, the Agnes tips are very affordable, somewhere like around $50, all the way up to about $100-ish for a Scarlet tip. So you're not talking about a very high consumable cost. I think it's important to be the patient yourself. I think it makes you more empathetic as a doctor. It knows exactly how they're feeling, what to expect, especially for like pain and downtime. Also, that patient is going to be more motivated to do the treatment themselves if they knew that you're doing it to yourself. And actually what we also do at our open house is we have some of our staff get treated the week before, and they're walking around with little signs that say, I am day 1 post-Scarlet, I am day 2 post-Agnes, and then that way they can say, oh, well, this is what I would look like if I did it on a Thursday. What would I look like if I tried to go to dinner on a Saturday? So that has also been helpful for people to see that. So when I'm doing the patient consult, I treat the entire palate. I'm just not chasing one wrinkle or one pore. So we're really good about using the power of medical grade skincare. I discuss all the treatment options available, including surgery. So I do refer to my friendly plastic surgeons when necessary, because I want them to have a realistic expectation. And if I can't fix you, I will send you to a surgeon. And if you're comfortable with them, do it. If not, come back with me, and I'm happy to treat you as well. We do multiple technologies on the same day. We answer as many questions as we can, and we do take a down payment for the service because a lot of times we do block out a lot of time, and if we have a no-show, we want to guarantee that spot. $50 is not enough to make people have a better offer, so we take half. So that has been helpful. So this is just one of our Scarlet patients. This is the one that I did a combination, and so I had done Agnes under her eyes, and then we followed it by the Sciton BBL, which is their version of the IPL. And I think that's important to do combination because if I had just treated this lady's eye bags and she came back, she would have said, well, I look worse. And it would be because now she sees the telangiectasias on the rosacea on her face even more. So don't fix one thing without treating the whole palate, or they really won't see the cumulative improvement that you're trying to show them. So then I listened to Larry's webinar on exosomes and XOE, and I was totally intrigued by what he talked about in there, so I started to kind of really dive into the products. So we did a launch where I took about 9 or 10 patients and I made them do the 5-day before, twice-a-day protocol, the XOE on the day of the procedure, and then the 5 days afterwards. And we saw, increased improvement in downtime and healing. And I loved the percentages that he taught me in the little lecture, about 10 times the amount of HA that's produced and almost 30% more of collagen and elastin. So it was almost like getting a second procedure for free on the same day. And I love the way that that was worded. So here's a little look at that little system. So this is my receptionist, and on the bloody picture is her immediately after a BBL and a very aggressive fractionated erbium treatment. And so what I found with these products is if you try to put the XOE on after this procedure, it burns and it stings and it kind of gets messy if they bleed. So our new protocol that I learned today is now going to be to drive it in with the Aquaferm. I really love that little pearl from today. I will put the XOE on and let it sit for 15 minutes. Then I will put the numbing cream on, and then I will do whatever procedure that we decide to do. But this is her on, all the way through day 4 and 5 of healing, and so she's back at work and not scaring my patients. So she was very happy with that. This is my sister-in-law. She's 47 years old. She's the fairest of them all at the ball. She's so pale. So she hated getting laser treatments done in the past because she stays red for so long. And I said, great, I have something really awesome for you to try. So she actually did a fractionated CO2 treatment, and this is her on day 5. And she said, I'm completely wowed. I could go to dinner, I could go anywhere, and nobody would know that I've had a very aggressive treatment done. So she was thrilled with that. This is a retired veterinarian who is really interested in all the science behind all of this, and she's been my laser patient for about 10 years. She also usually has a lot of downtime. I said, I have something I want you to guinea pig for me. I can't wait to get your feedback. And so she sent me these selfies of herself, and she was also completely wowed. So I'm totally drinking the Kool-Aid on the XOE. I may go and actually drink one of those vials if you let me. I mean, might help me. So I really think this is going to be the next big thing. So this is a picture of me a day after Halo a couple of years ago. I'm a sweller with any laser procedure I do to myself. If I talk about a margarita, I'm swollen the next day. So I said, okay, I'm going to try it. I was demoing Moxie that somebody had mentioned earlier today. So I did the entire XOE protocol, and then this was me the morning after another fractionated type treatment, and I had almost no swelling at all. So Sunil, this is me saying no to Allergan's algorithm of how much filler I should really have in my face for how much toxin I have in my face. I thought that was just a little fun picture. Because, happy wife, happy life, happy patients, happy doctor. Make sure your patients are comfortable. I made a typo on this next one. So the lidocaine that we're actually using is a 23/7, but it is a 23% lidocaine, 7% tetracaine. And I get this compounded in these little 10-gram little syringes, and $16 for the little syringe, and we can do about 10 or 12 people. So you're talking about peanuts as far as the amount as it costs me to numb somebody comfortably. But this particular formulation, I have not had any contact dermatitis with or delayed itching or swelling, and it penetrates very quickly because it's in an ointment base versus like a cream base. Sometimes we do a Zimmer chiller. I, unfortunately, in Louisiana, cannot have a Pronox machine because I'm not an outpatient surgery center. So I'm sad that I don't have that for pain control, but most of the time I do not need that at all with any of these procedures. And then I give them everything they need. Make sure that they don't screw it up. So if you send them with everything that they have, then they're not going to use something at home that they could get an irritant dermatitis to or get acne from. So I like the idea, instead of charging extra for that XOE system, I really do believe that it needs to just be incorporated into the service as best practice. And then the patient is getting the best of the best every time they get a treatment with you. And then Xyzal is a dermatologist's best friend. That's our favorite antihistamine. And so if anybody has any whelping, itching, anything, we say a Xyzal a day keeps rashes, hives, and your dermatologist away. But it's even an inside joke in my family. If you come to me with a problem and you haven't tried Aquaphor, Motrin, or Xyzal, I'm not even taking your question. So that's it. Thank you for having me, and I'm open for any comments.